Good evening and happy Sunday, everyone. My name is Dustin Zarni. I'm the Onondaga County Elections Commissioner, Democrat, and I am doing my first Sunday seminar of the 2022 season. I will do these seminars periodically from time to time on topics that are interest of voters and candidates in Onondaga County as a way to have a public service to get information out there about how to take advantage of all of the electoral processes, whether you're running for office or a voter this year in 2022, and inform of all the new election law changes that are coming down the pike for each individual thing. My first seminar is the first thing, running for office and how to get on the ballot in 2022. The petition season starts next week on March 1st, and it is the unofficial start. Actually, it's the official start of the election season here in Onondaga County, because if you are not on the ballot, then there is no race. And this is the first step for candidates. So I am doing this seminar today about how to get on the ballot in 2022 and the various different ways to do so. This is meant more as an overview presentation, but I'm happy to take questions, put them in the comments, or send an email to me, dustinzarni@gmail.com, or call our office, 315-435-VOTE at the Onondaga County Board of Elections, and we'll be happy to answer any of your specific questions. So without further ado, I'm going to go into my presentation here, and we will go over how to get on the ballot in 2022. There are several ways to get on the ballot in 2022, but before you know how to get on the ballot, you must get familiar with the Board of Elections. The boards of elections are your first stop in running for office. We have information on filing deadlines and office eligibility. And while we are a bipartisan board, our mission is to help any citizen wanting to run for office, regardless of party. The Onondaga County Board of Elections can be found at 1000 Erie Boulevard West, Syracuse, New York, 13204, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We can be located at 315-435-VOTE. Find us on Facebook at OCBOFE or at Twitter at OCBOE. Email elections@ongov.net. Or you can find us on the web at onvote.net, where there are lots of resources, including all the dates that are going over in this presentation and several other things that you may want for running for office. Offices on the ballot in 2022. This is a federal midterm year, which means that statewide offices, as well as congressional and New York State legislature seats, are up. Most towns and county offices run on odd years and are only up this year if it is to fill a vacancy. Statewide offices: governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, comptroller, and U.S. Senate. That is the Senate seat held by current Senator Chuck Schumer, and not the Gillibrand seat is not up this year. Justice of Supreme Court, 2 of them in Onondaga County are up in the 5th Judicial District, which spans 6 different counties: Onondaga, Oneida, Herkimer, Jefferson, Lewis, and Oswego counties. New York 22 member of Congress, that's the congressional district that was represented by John Cacco, although he is not running for re-election. This is a 8-county district, but has all of Onondaga County, all of Tompkins County, and portions of Cortland, Cayuga, Seneca, Ontario, and I'm sure in Oneida counties. I may have left one off the list, but you can go to our website and check it out. The map of that county is on our website. New York State Senate 49th, 52nd, and 55th, as well as New York State Assembly 126th, 127th, 128th, and 129th. Currently, these are represented by Senator Joe Griffo in the 49th, Senator John Mannion in the 52nd, and Senator Rachel May in the 55th. And in the New York State Assembly, it is Assembly Member Lamondis in the 126th, Assembly Member Sturpey in the 127th, Assembly Member Hunter in the 128th, and Assembly Member Magnarelli in the 129th. County offices, countywide offices that are up are sheriff, county court judge, and family court judge. The sheriff and county court judge are open seats. The sheriff has announced that Kevin Connolly will not be running for re-election, and the county court judge seat is up because of a mandatory retirement due to age, where the judge is aging out. The family court judge is actually held by Democrat Judge Julie Cecil, and she's running for re-election. In the towns, we do have a smattering of town offices up this year. The town justice offices, all of these are because a vacancy has been created this year, but justices run for a full term. So Cicero Town Justice, Elbridge Town Justice, Pompey Town Justice, those ones that are up are running for a full 2 or 4 year term, depending on what their town charter calls for. The rest of the offices are what we call to fill vacancies. So these are offices created because somebody had left the board or left the town council, and they are running for the rest of that term, which is probably means they will be up next year. That's DeWitt Town Councilor, Manlius Town Councilor, Onondaga Councilor, Pompey Highway Superintendent, and Van Buren Town Councilor. And the same with the village offices that are up. We have 5 villages in Onondaga County that run elections in the November elections. And 3 of them have to fill vacancies for their trustees. Again, they're serving 1 year until they're up for election again next year. And that's Camillus trustee, Elbridge trustee, and Tully trustee. Party designations. These are the first steps for getting on the ballot in Onondaga County. Most offices for major party offices will have designations to choose official candidates. These candidates usually get an edge on local support for fundraising and passing petitions. Some things to keep in mind. Parties control these processes, so designation dates and declaration dates can vary. The New York or the Onondaga County Dems and the New York State Dems have already held their designations. The Working Families and the Conservative Party has held their designation as well. The Working Families Party has not held their have been announcing their statewide designations. They don't have a convention, and they haven't announced their Onondaga County designations as of yet. And the New York Republican Party and the Onondaga County Republican Party have not held their party designations as of this date. Often it has no legal bearing, but can have benefits in name recognition and support. So the Board of Elections doesn't necessarily care about party designations, but party members will walk petitions to get those candidates on the ballot. So it is a very important step in the process. It's seen as the first test of a campaign, and often as many voting members as a small village. The Onondaga County Democratic and Republican parties have well over 500 committee members apiece. So it is a lot of people that are voting on that, not just a few people in a back room. Statewide officers such as governor, lieutenant governor, senator, comptroller, attorney general get automatic ballot access at their state conventions. As I said, the state conventions for the New York Dems has already happened, and Working Families and Conservatives are doing not a convention, but individual designations. The state Republican Party will be holding their state convention next week. So we go to petitions. For most public offices, you must walk petitions of registered voters to have your name appear on the ballot for either a primary or general election office. In 2022, Congress, all state legislature, countywide offices, most town and villages offices that are up must walk petitions to get on the ballot. There are 3 types of petitions to get on the November 22 ballot: designating petitions, which happen March 1st through April 7th, 2022. Opportunity to ballot petitions, March 22nd through April 14th, 2022. And independent nominating petitions, April 19th through May 31st, 2022. Designating petitions. This is the most common method for getting on the ballot in New York State. Members of a political party will use this to get access to the ballot in New York. The 4 major parties, Democrat, Republican, Conservative, and Working Families, use this to put their candidates onto the ballot under their ballot line. Things to keep in mind: only those registered in the party they are seeking can circulate a petition without permission from the party. Designating petitions can be circulated March 1st through April 7th, 2022. Designating petitions must be turned in between April 4th through the 7th, 2022. Congress, New York 22, Senate 49, 52, 55, and Assembly 126 and 127 turn in their petitions at the State Board of Elections in Albany. All local offices in Assembly 128 and 29 are turned in at the Onondaga County Board of Elections. Opportunity ballot petitions. There's actually some change on this. If a candidate who misses the designating petition window wants to challenge for the ballot line of a recognized party, they have to circulate opportunity ballot petitions. This creates a write-in primary on the June ballot against a designated candidate. Some things to keep in mind. Your name does not appear on the ballot and must be a write-in to win against the name of the designated candidate. You must have 3 people of the party you are seeking serve as your committee receive notice. And by the way, they have to know that they're on that committee. There's been a couple of court cases on that in the last few years where people didn't know their names were used and the petitions were thrown out. Once a write-in is open, any candidate can win, whether it's the candidate circulating petitions, the candidate on the designating petitions, or any other candidate. Anybody, it becomes a pure write-in. You must be a member of the party you are seeking a line for, new in 2022. So you cannot win an opportunity ballot candidate petition. I'm sorry, you cannot win an opportunity ballot contest unless you are a member of the party that you are seeking to win. So you can open up a petition ballot, but the only person who can win is a member of the party. So this is a significant change from previous years where conservatives often would have Republicans or Democrats seeking to steal their line. We saw that happen with Green Party members when they had a line, and working families parties. That will no longer be allowed. If you are to win, to be able to win the race, you must be a member of that party. Opportunity ballot petitions can be circulated March 22nd through April 14th, 2022. Opportunity ballot petitions must be turned in by April 14th, 2022, and can be turned in anytime before that. Congress, New York 22, State Senate 49, 52, 55, and Assembly 126 and 127 are turned in at the State Board of Elections in Albany. And again, all local offices in Assembly 128, 129 are turned in at the Onondaga County Board of Elections. Independent nominating petitions. If you're seeking to get on the ballot, but not under a recognized party, you have to walk independent nominating petitions. This includes former recognized parties and regular citizens seeking lines on the ballot. They can also be used to give a second line on the ballot for those who have already won recognized party line. Things to keep in mind. Anybody can circulate petitions regardless of party enrollment. Any registered voter can sign, but they can't have signed another petition for that office. They must choose a party name and symbol to be represented on the ballot. Independent nominating petitions can be circulated April 19th through May 31st, 2022. Independent nominating petitions must be turned in between May 24th and 31st, 2022. Again, Congress, New York 22, State Senate 49, 52, 55, and Assembly 126 and 127 must be turned in at the State Board of Elections. And all local offices in Assembly 128 and 129 turned in at the Onondaga County Board of Elections. Now that's all we have for petitions, but there is another avenue for getting on the ballot for some offices, and that is caucuses. For some town offices, a party will choose to caucus instead of walking petitions. This gives instant access to the general election ballot. However, a party has less control over the nomination process and the voters have less access. Things to keep in mind. Only registered members of the party holding the caucus can vote in the caucus. So only Democrats can vote in Democratic caucuses. Only Republicans can vote in Republican caucuses. Anyone can run in a caucus regardless of party, but you must be nominated and seconded by a voting member. So that means if you're not in the party, you can, if there's a caucus, you can win the caucus vote, but a Democrat of the Democratic caucus must second you and vote and nominate you. Same with Republicans. You can't go in there and nominate yourself. Caucus dates can be held between March 1st and July 28th, 2022. Town chairs of that party decide the dates of caucuses and only are required to give 10-day notice to the boards of elections, paper or public posting. So these caucuses can spring up without a lot of warning. Keep in touch with the Board of Elections because we will have that on our website as soon as they're up. This caucuses take place of a primary, and the winner gets placed on the general election ballot. So there is no primary after a caucus. Once the caucus is held, that's it. That is the person who will appear on the line in the general election. Caucus towns. For the Dems in Onondaga County, Camillus, Cicero, Clay, DeWitt, Elbridge, Fabius, Geddes, Lafayette, Lysander, Marcellus, Francisco, Pompey, Skaneateles, Tully, and Van Buren hold caucuses. The rest of the towns are petitions. For the Republican Party, Otisco and Spafford hold caucuses. For the Conservatives, DeWitt, Fabius, Lafayette, Marcellus, Onondaga, Otisco, Skaneateles, Spafford, and Tully hold caucuses. And working families do not hold caucuses. All of their positions are filled by the designating process. So if a town is not listed here under the party that you are seeking for, they are a petition town and you should be getting designating petitions to get on the ballot. And there's one other office that is up for election this year, and that's the Supreme Court, and they get elected by or get on the ballot through judicial nominating conventions. Supreme Court justices are the only ballot opportunity is judicial nominating conventions. So they can't do petitions, they can't do caucuses, only the convention. So some things to keep in mind. Onondaga County is the 5th judicial district, which spans 6 counties, Herkimer, Jefferson, Lewis, Oneida, and Oswego, along with Onondaga County. Judicial delegates walk designating petitions for each assembly district to get on the ballot. So when designating petitions are going on starting next week, there will be petitions by each of the parties to have judicial delegates walk those designating petitions for by assembly in each of the counties for the 5th judicial district. There is no independent nominating petitions. So only Democrats and Republicans or conservatives or working families can run for office for judicial nominating. You cannot, or at least they're the only parties with party lines on there. They could nominate somebody who's not part of their party, but the only ballot access is for those parties. And conventions have to be held within a small time period. It'll be between August 4th and the 10th. Notice will be filed and to the judicial delegates that run to get on the ballot. It's not something that we are notified at the Board of Elections about, but the notices have to go to the judicial delegates that file petitions. 2 Supreme Court justices are up for election in 2022. But as you may remember last year, when I was doing this, getting on the ballot seminar, we were supposed to have 0 Supreme Court justices, and then they expanded the Supreme Court justices in the 5th Judicial and in many places throughout the state. So that could change. There could be more than 2, especially if somebody decides to retire or, God forbid, passes on between now and August 4th. So that's all I have for my presentation for getting on the ballot. This is not a live Zoom call. So if you have any questions, please put them right in the comments or give me a call, the Board of Elections a call at 315-435-VOTE, or you can email me directly at dustinzarny@gmail.com. Thank you very much for coming to my first Sunday seminar. It's taking my place of my Zoom with Zarny this week, as I'll be away at the convention in Albany for the New York State Elections Commissioner Association, where I serve as Democratic Caucus Chair. And I will be doing a special commissioner in a car on Friday about that. Actually, I'll probably be commissioner on a train, as I'll be taking the train back from Albany, and I'll probably do a quick commissioner in a car with some updates about what I learned at the convention this year. Some new things that are happening in election law this year is what I plan on having my commissioner in a car about on Friday. I won't be doing a Walking Wednesday this week because I'll be away at convention. So enjoy the silence. But as always, go to dustinzarny.com. You can subscribe to get notifications for any election news that is out there, as well as all the content that I give. Zoom and Zarnies, Commissioner in the Cars, Wonky Wednesdays, Sunday seminars, all of these things that I try to do to keep you informed about all the electoral processes in Onondaga County and New York State. I hope you enjoyed this Sunday seminar, and I'll be doing another one as we get closer to the primary about the new rules for absentee ballot processing this year. You take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.